Every kid who ever picked up a glove has dreamed this dream. It starts on a dusty sandlot at dawn, a little kid staring at the sky, imagining a packed stadium roaring his name. So you swing. You swing at a ball against the fence in the backyard until your hands blister, over and over, because talent is nothing without the thousands of hours nobody sees. By high school, you're the best player on the field, and a few people in the stands are starting to notice. You throw yourself at every ball, diving in the dirt, because you've learned that the ones who make it want it more than everyone else. And then one day you feel it, a scout in the stands with a radar gun and a clipboard watching your every move. That's when the dream stops being a fantasy and starts becoming a chance. Draft day. Your name gets called, and the room explodes. You hug your family, tears and joy everywhere, because everything you sacrificed just paid off. You sign your first professional contract, pen shaking in your hand. But here's what nobody tells you. That contract doesn't make you rich. It sends you here, to a rundown ballpark in a tiny town with a duffel bag and a dream. You play in tiny minor league stadiums with a handful of fans, grinding in total obscurity, because this is where the real climb begins. And this is the part the highlight reels never show. You ride cramped buses through the night, town to town, staring out the window, exhausted. You eat cheap meals crammed into a rundown apartment with a bunch of teammates, scraping by. Minor league players often make just a few $1,000s for an entire season. Many live below the poverty line, chasing a dream on almost nothing. So you get up before everyone and hit alone in the cage, because the only way out is to be undeniable. You swing for the fences. You slide into every base like it's your last. And slowly you climb a slightly bigger stadium, a few more fans, one level up. But this game can break you in a heartbeat. One wrong step, and you're on the ground, clutching your leg, everything you built hanging by a thread. So you fight your way back, grinding through rehab alone because you've come too far to quit now. You make it to AAA, the biggest stadiums in the minors, one single step away from the top. And then you wait by your locker, checking your phone, praying for the one call that changes everything. And then it comes. You've been called up to the major leagues. You leap into the air, screaming, because the impossible dream just came true. You walk out of that tunnel onto a massive field, a roaring crowd of 40,000, lights blazing, and for a moment the little kid from the sandlot just stares in awe. You step to the plate for your first big league at-bat, the whole stadium electric. And when you connect, when you send your first major league home run over the wall, the crowd erupts, and you round those bases feeling like you're flying. Your teammates mob you. Kids line up for your autograph, looking at you the way you once looked at your heroes. The major league minimum salary is over $700,000 a year. After years of making almost nothing, everything changes. The nice car, the home, the reward for all of it. Now you're not just in the league, you belong. You rob home runs at the wall. You get interviewed under the bright lights after big games. You make the All-Star Showcase, standing among the greatest players alive. Established major leaguers earn millions a year, and the biggest superstars sign deals worth $30, $40, even $50 million a season. And if you're lucky enough and good enough, you lift a championship trophy as the confetti falls, the absolute pinnacle of the sport. But for every player who makes it, there are thousands who don't. Most who sign a professional contract never play a single game in the majors. They sit in an empty dugout one day, dream over, and walk away. You made it because you refused to be one of them. And the ones who last become veterans, still performing at the highest level with years of wisdom in their game, mentoring the nervous rookies who remind them exactly of themselves. And then, one day, it ends. You stand at home plate in a packed stadium, tip your cap to a roaring crowd, and say goodbye to the game that gave you everything. For the greatest, there's one final honor, a plaque on the wall, your name in the Hall of Fame, immortal. From a little kid on a sandlot to a legend of the game. Little leaguer, high schooler, minor leaguer, big leaguer, all-star, Hall of Famer. But the ones who never forget where they came from always circle back. You watch a small kid on a dusty sandlot swinging a bat and dreaming, and you see yourself. You hand him an old worn baseball and you pass the dream on. Because this game doesn't belong to any one player, it just borrows them for a while before handing itself to the next kid brave enough to chase it. If this one pulled you in, do me a favor, hit that like, and tell me down in the comments what you thought. And if there's a job you've always wondered about, drop it below. The next career I break down might just be the one you pick. Subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.